Welcome to the the-fwot-show on the Coil Entertainment Network, fixing the planet one idiot at a time. I'm Rob Steele, that's Jesus Jones in the background, and did anyone else look at the Google header thing this past Friday and think that that is the worst picture you have ever seen of Neil deGrasse Tyson? Seriously, I saw that and went, wow, they really screwed that up. And they did, mainly because it's writer Octavia E. Butler. But I'll admit I did not know who that was. I thought it was just a crappy picture of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Sorry about that. But, you know, with it being a picture of Octavia E. Butler, it does explain why it does not look like Neil deGrasse Tyson. What it doesn't explain is Melania's wardrobe. She went to go visit the concentration camp kids in Texas because that is what it is. Not my idea. And she wore a jacket that had written on the back of it, "I don't care, do you?" Well, let's start with, yes, I do. Kids should not be kept in cages. And for those of you thinking, but Rob, he signed the thing that said that the families would be put back together. Guess what? They're not. They just aren't. A lot of them, they can't find the kids to go with the parents. And because of the way he signed the bill, now the parents get to be detained with the kids. No word yet on whether actually they're living in the same cages the kids used to live in, but hey, there we go. Is that the best solution? No. But that's all Donnie can come up with. He also came up with, what did he call it? Trump Space Force? He wants us to build an army that goes into space to what? It's not an exploration force. He's not creating Starfleet from Star Trek. That would be a worthy goal. No, he wants to build a military force in space. Why? Now, let's add to that. He wants us to go to space in a military fashion when Flint, Michigan has no water and Puerto Rico has no power. What happened to let's fix America first, asshole? I mean, that was his one plan that I almost actually liked. But of course, he's not doing that because he is agolf-twitler. What a... So a story came to me out of Greece this week where a 9-year-old boy visited his eye doctor and, wow, one of his eyes is no longer working the way it's supposed to. There's a hole in his left macula. Okay, I'm not really sure on my parts of the eye apart from iris and, you know, the colored bit, which might be the iris. I don't pay that much attention to body part names. Can you tell? Not the point. The eyesight loss is now being attributed to a green laser pointer. Now, I have a green laser pointer. They are a lot more impressive than the red ones. I got it online for about $5. Here's something that is written on it in 2 different places. Do not shine this in the face of anyone. Period. And as a result, I do not point it in anyone's face, nor do I let anyone else use it to point it in anyone's face. That's because prolonged exposure can damage the eye. If you just go glance, ooh, it got in my eye, close my eye, ooh, that was very bright. It's not going to cause permanent damage. This is, I'm staring at it, and, you know, 15 minutes later, I'm still staring at it, and my vision is all messed up for life now. Well, yeah, that's going to happen if you stare at a laser for 15 minutes. I don't point it at anyone's face. You should never point it at anyone's face. Basically, what I do with it is I screw with my neighbor's cat by shining it through their window. You'd be amazed at what cats will do to catch the little green dot. Anyway, do not stare at the laser pointer. It's a public service announcement from the the-fwot-show, by the way. Would like to point out who's complaining the loudest about this laser pointer thing. Because it's become a big international issue. And people think it should be taken off the market because it's a dangerous item. Who are those people? That would be the NRA. who thinks laser pointers are dangerous items and should be taken off the market. Excuse me. Kettle? What are those things you're carrying around? Oh yeah, guns. Those should be taken off the market. A laser pointer may blind you. A gun will kill you. Dangerous to the public. Guns. Hello? Meme of the week. This one floated across my desk yesterday, and I was thinking I'll just have to skip this segment of the show this week because I couldn't come up with any. But no, this one hit home. I liked it. It said, and I'll quote, because it's just words, "If you think that Mexico is only sending drug dealers and rapists, but also worry that Mexicans are going to take your job, what the fuck do you do for a living? Dear Donald, have you read this meme?" Just a personal note to throw in because I have nowhere else to ask this. And because this song has been stuck in my head for about a week now, I'm not really sure why. Do you remember the David Bowie song Modern Love? Yeah, it was a good song. I mean, I'm not a big fan of David Bowie, but I like his work. But this one section of the song kept running through my head, and it threw me off because I think I finally understood how much this song doesn't make sense. There's a section of the song that says, "No confession, no religion gets me to the church on time." Okay, if there is no confession and no religion, why does the church even exist? Much less, why are you going there on time at all? Why are you going there at all? There's no reason now. I'm just throwing this out. I have no other bit to go with this. I'm going to move on. And now to the world of sport. No, I'm not going to read last night's scores. There are just some really odd injuries that occurred this week, and I'm going to pass them along. Chicago Cubs All-Star starter Brandon Morrow is going to be put on the 15-day disabled list. He hurt his back, and I'm not making this up, while taking off his pants. I'm not even sure how you would do such a thing, but there we go. Granted, that's not the worst injury I've heard come out of the Cubs camp. That would have, we'd have to go back a ways to Slammin' Sammy Sosa, who once injured himself, put on the 60-day disabled list with back spasms because he sneezed. Yeah, he sneezed and threw out his back. Oh, did I mention he did it at a press conference? Wow, not the best place to do that. But that's not the weirdest injury. Weirdest injury this week would have to come out of Philadelphia, where, have you been to these events where they have the T-shirt cannon? Someone comes out and stands in the middle of the arena and shoots a cannon, and this little thing flies out, and then someone catches a T-shirt. Well, they've got something like that in Philadelphia. Only it's the Philly Fanatic, the mascot of the Philadelphia Phillies. The big green thing that looks like a Muppet, but isn't. He has a hot dog cannon, which apparently he shot a woman with this week and gave her a concussion. Didn't know you could concuss people with a hot dog. That's, it's almost impressive if you think about it, but it's not. Very strange. Anyway, the biggest injury is not a physical one. It is a damage that was done to a corporation, but they did it to themselves, so I can laugh at it. Normally, I would pass on this kind of a story, but this was just too weird. Comes from the FIFA World Cup in Russia, where Burger King, one of the big sponsors, had a special deal going. And I'm not making this up. This has come from CNN and the Associated Press and a number of sources. This happened. Russian Burger King had an offer of a lifetime supply of Whoppers and 3 million rubles, which is about $47,000, to any woman who could get pregnant by any of the visiting soccer stars from the other countries. I know, right? That was a thing? Really? But the reason they wanted it done was not for the reason you probably think. Granted, I don't know what you could come up with. Here was their logic behind it, and it almost makes sense. They're trying to get the Russian national team to be that much better than it is now. So, if women in Russia get pregnant from foreign soccer stars, then the next generation of the Russian soccer teams will be that much better. See? It's a national pride thing to help with... No, that does not work. Or does it? You let me know. Contact me through the website, the-fwot-show.com, where there's buttons for Facebook and Twitter, and the button for the email that is really Bob at the-fwot-show.com, because I make things easy. Go to the website, click the button, subscribe to the show through iTunes or the Google Play Store or Stitcher or Blueberry or wherever the hell you happen to find the show. There's buttons on the site, but there's places that have the show that I don't have buttons for, because there's just so many of them. You know what? Go to the Fwot shop. You can pick up a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug or something that all have the new logo. I like the new logo. Even gotten compliments on the new logo, which is very cool. So get that. Enjoy this stuff. And I'm going to leave you with what is probably the most bizarre tech news we're going to get this year. And I kind of get it, and yet I kind of don't. There's a guy named Dr. Sergi Santos who has created, and I'm not making this up, a sex robot named Samantha. It's basically a sex doll that interacts with you. Okay, fine. The thing about it is now there's an upgrade where she can now refuse sex if she's not in the mood, which I think defeats the purpose of buying the blow-up doll in the first place. The idea is that it's trying to teach boundaries, and yet, wow. You know what? You guys have a good week. I'll see you next time. Just remember, be careful, and when the sex robot says no, it still means no.